Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy is finally back with another unboxing. Now, I've been waiting a little bit for this bay, or I guess random booster. It is Random Booster Volume 12, and I actually bought the full set. So, in this box, I already know we have the prize, Dead Hades, 11-turn Zephyr Dash. And it's been advertised as the heaviest burst Beyblade, which I think it's actually not, but we'll get more to that later. Anyway, we're going to get a close-up right now, and then we're going to open this bad boy up. Alright guys, so let's get to the close-up of the packaging. So, you guys probably already know what's inside this random booster, but it actually has a really good selection. We have Hell Salamander, Arch Hercules, Twin Nemesis, and even a Deep Chaos. So, a really good selection of parts as far as layers go. As for the drivers and stuff, I do believe there's a yielding and a few other interesting choices here. So another thing to mention is that there is a destroyed dash in here as well. So if you do want to get that driver, this is probably the easiest way to get it apart from the Shining on Materios from the Switch game. But anyway, we have the character here, or the owner of Dead Hades, and I believe his name is Hearts. Yeah, cool stuff. And now let's take a look at the back. It shows the parts. One of the main gimmicks here is, of course, the frame. So it is kind of like Lift. It does switch between two modes. And then just some miscellaneous info here. But yeah. Now let's open this bad boy up. I'm pretty looking forward to this. Like, I mean, it might be one of the main villain bays, if that makes sense. I'm still kind of confused as to who's the actual villain or antagonist in the series. But yeah, let's take a look at this stuff here. So these are the instructions and sticker sheet. Stickers look pretty easy to do. So I'll probably will do these during the video. And now we're gonna get to the actual Beyblade. So one thing I noticed is that there's not a lot of cardboard, if any, in this random booster because Dead Hades already weighs a pretty good amount. So it's pretty much to offset people who scale the boosters. That's why other boosters have a lot more cardboard in them. It's to throw off the weight. But yeah, we almost got everything out. They really do a good job at packing that. I always gotta compliment TT for that. So now we got these black bags. They're just like pretty much the mystery component. You're not going to know what you have until you pretty much open one of these. So we're going to go ahead and open all of these up. Alright, so we're going to start off with the driver, which in this case is Zephyr Dash. So it's not your ordinary Zephyr. It does have a improved spring, hence why the plastic's red. So it has a lot more burst resistance. And it is one of the many dash drivers. I think this might be the fourth one now. I think it was an interesting choice to do Zephyr. I do think that it has potential to be good, but I feel like these days things like Destroy or even just wider tips do better, but that's just my opinion. Either way, it's cool, and I do like that they included it as part of this Beyblade. Next, we have the frame, which is turn. So, this is the turn frame. It reminds you a lot of Tornado Wyvern, actually, just the shape. But just like Lift, it has two modes. You can flip it either way, and I guess depending on how you have it flipped, the contact points are slightly different. Another thing I thought was interesting is that the underside is pretty much like bumpy, so this could potentially scrape with the stadium, which might or might not be a good thing. But it is a nice red color as well. It also feels pretty heavy. It might be the heaviest frame, I think. I'm not too sure though. Might have to weigh these later. But yeah, there it is. And then we have 11. So I thought this was an interesting disc choice, to say the least. At first I thought, why use 11? But I'll explain why when we get to the layer. But yeah, it's a pretty light disc. It was used on Z Achilles. I think that's it that it's been used on so far, so hasn't really been used a lot. It is a pretty cool disc, I guess, and it does have some use for attack, just because it is a pretty light disc. and it is also pretty symmetrical as well. And lastly, we got the layer Dead Hades. So this thing looks insane. Right off the bat, you guys probably noticed the metal here. So it does have quite a bit of metal on it, and it's been advertised as the heaviest Cho-Z Beyblade to date. However, people did compare these, and I guess its weight is pretty similar to Revive Phoenix. But one thing's for sure, this thing's just one solid piece, so I guess it's heavier in that sense. Another thing I wanted to point out was this kind of head design. It reminds me a lot of Legend Spriggan's kind of axe-shaped design, and I think it took some inspiration from that. But man, just look at this layer. It's got a really sick metallic-y purple color, or I guess opaque purple color, and you guys can just see those slopes here. I do think these can deal a lot of damage here, but overall it feels like the twin nemesis of Cho-Z, if that makes sense. It has some smooth points and then some more jagged contact points here, so I do think it might be pretty good for some attack or maybe even some balance. I'm not too sure. I obviously have to test it out first. And the only downside for this thing is, of course, the teeth. So I guess Takara did have to nerf it in a sense. Those teeth are pretty freaking bad. They're just about gums at this point, so they're not very good. And for Takara to compensate, they did do something interesting. Now this ties back to the parts here. So 11, if you guys don't know, is already light, and when you pair that with a heavy layer, it does provide some burst resistance. And then if you add a dash driver, it provides even more burst resistance. So all the parts in this layer are pretty much backing it up to the point where it won't burst a lot. So that's pretty interesting. Like I said, interesting choice for parts, but it makes sense when you think about the whole picture here. So a lot of parts are just helping this thing not burst a lot. Now, because it is a heavy layer though, I do think it will have uses regardless of its teeth. Just once again, the shape alone really does make it seem pretty promising, but only time will tell. We obviously have to test these out. But yeah, just feeling this, I do think the frame is a tad bit loose, which is kind of a downside. I did not expect it to be this loose. I'm going to see if the other mode fits any better. It could also be the disc, but it does fit a little too loose for my liking. Either way though, really sick Beyblade. I still need to put stickers on, so it'll probably look even better with the stickers on. But yeah, really, really sick. Alright guys, so that is it for this unboxing of B125 Dead Hades 11-turn Zephyr Dash. And I guess my final verdict on this is if you can afford the full set, definitely go for it. You really can't go wrong with the selection of parts in this set. Like there really is a lot of good stuff in here. So if you can't afford a full set, definitely go for it. I really wouldn't try my luck and try to get the prize Beyblade because the odds might not be in your favor. But overall, the prize Beyblade itself is pretty awesome and it looks sick. Performance-wise, I'm not too sure how it will be, but it looks pretty promising so far. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And do stay tuned for more videos very soon. Anyway, until next time guys, see ya.